Well, ladies and gentlemen, this remarkable journey of digital revolution is in the very capable hands of the Minister of Technology, who will be coordinating and also executing this mega project. And of course, not alone, with the key stakeholders as well, with the support of the key stakeholders, as the Sri Lankan government remains extremely committed to embracing the digital technologies and innovative solutions to drive sustainable economic growth and improve the country's competitiveness in the global market. Saying that, we would like to now invite a special gentleman on stage who will officially welcome all you distinguished invitees to this memorable occasion, DigiCon Sri Lanka 2023 to 2030. To officially welcome you to this event, we would like to very warmly invite on stage State Minister of Technology, the Honorable Kanaka Herath.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Cabinet Ministers, Governors, State Ministers, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Members of Parliament, Secretary to the President, Secretary to the Prime Minister, Governor of Central Bank, Ministerial Secretaries, Keynote Speaker, Mr. Siddharthan Raja, World Bank South Asian Regional Coordinator for Digital Development, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to warmly welcome His Excellency the President and distinguished guests for DigiCon 2030 launch event this afternoon. The Digi economy and ensures its dividends are reaped by Sri Lanka's citizens as we speak. However, Sri Lanka faces a digital divide because of the unequal distribution of ICT among different social groups, geographic regions, private sector and government institutions. In bridging the digital divide, DigiCon 2030 will be a catalyst. To bridge this gap, we need to invest in building digital infrastructure and make use of our human capital to its full potential. Therefore, we need to probe education and training on digital literacy, automation, and artificial intelligence to equip people with necessary skills to adapt to Industry 4.0 and beyond. And also the need to provide regulatory framework to help industry stakeholders to navigate the challenges in making this transition. Today we are gathered here for the planning kickoff of DigiCon 2030. This is a regulatory policy framework that will give directions and gesture of commitment of the government towards facilitating a digital ecosystem to all stakeholders. Followed by this, the launch, we will give an umbrella cover to a series of events which will explore partnerships that will lead to digital transformation using cutting-edge technology and contribute towards realizing the DigiCon 2030. Throughout this initiative, we are creating a roadmap to identify the areas that require immediate attention and action to bridge the digital divide and help Sri Lanka take a leapfrog to Industry 4.0 and beyond. As I mentioned, this will be the required development of a long-term framework with support of World Bank and all industry stakeholders. Under this program, we hope to address many areas, including implementation of unique digital ID that will benefit all citizens of our nation, eGov to provide digital-enabled services through government institutions, a single window system to provide one-stop shop for investors to access regulatory and administration services, invest in smart agriculture technologies to improve the efficiency of agriculture and ensure food security while curtailing the perishable waste, which is 40% from farm gate to end consumer. Medical research to support and develop of new technologies, treatments, and maximization of medical devices. Build the infrastructure to facilitate in developing nomad and other tourism programs to attract digital nomads and remote workers to work and live in Sri Lanka. The digital education revolution, which I consider as of paramount importance with the proposed changes in our curriculum. Bring key technologies to boost the digitalization of transportation and logistics services. Adaptation of global best practices in manufacturing. Sri Lanka needs to encourage the growth of payment infrastructure. The growth of digital economy comes in increased risk of cyber security. We intend to present the Cyber Security Act to Parliament during the course of this year. These initiatives will be taken with sustained effort and collaboration between the government ministries, private sector, and civil society. We as the Ministry of Technology, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, as the Minister of Technology, will drive these initiatives under one umbrella to bring in innovation, growth, and prosperity. The ICT export sector is expected to grow from 1.7 billion USD to 3 billion USD by 2024, which is a significant increase, and it is our top priority to support the industry to make ICT one of the top foreign income generators in the country. However, the growth of ICT sector is not uniform across all countries in Asia. Some countries have made significant progress in developing their ICT industries, while the others have faced setbacks. One of the major setbacks are the issue of digital literacy. Digital literacy for the region is 42.1%, and Sri Lanka overall stands at 34.3%, while in urban areas it stands at 49%, which represents 20% of the population. Another important factor as a country is our strategic geographic location, which can attract foreign investment and talent that needs to be positioned as a gateway to the South Asian region. This can be done by establishing partnership with neighboring countries and promoting cross-border collaboration in ICT industry. The government led by His Excellency the President Ranil Wickremesinghe's vision believes that Sri Lanka has the potential to become a hub for technology by focusing on building a robust ecosystem that attracts talent and investment. I want to reiterate the fact that the government of Sri Lanka will facilitate the industry stakeholders to achieve the above objectives. Whilst I take this opportunity once again to welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by opening your thoughts. The biggest part of our digital transformation is changing the way we think, as automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiencies. Therefore, the next 5 years will be more disruptive than the last 15. And there is no alternative to digital transformation. Visionary thinking will carve out new horizons for our country, and those that don't adapt will fail. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, the objectives are very, very clear, very sound objectives of DigiCon 2030, digital regulatory framework. We need a very sound digital regulatory framework, and also the Ministry of Technology taking the initiative to be an umbrella for all exhibition, conferences, symposiums related to digitalization, and in fact that will pave the way for a complete framework later this year, and we wish that endeavor all the very best. And we say thank you once again to the Honorable Kanaka Herath, the State Minister of Technology. The Honorable State Minister mentioned about the assistance given by the World Bank, and we are delighted and honored to have a representation from the World Bank here this afternoon, and we are delighted to invite him for the keynote speech. We have the South Asia Region Coordinator for Digital Development for the World Bank. Can we please welcome on stage Mr. Siddhartha Raja.
There should be a presentation up on the screen in a moment. Yes, wonderful. It's a great honor to be here. Your Excellency, thank you for having me. Distinguished guests, senior ministers, and of course, I'd like to especially thank the Ministry of Technology for having me here and sharing a little bit about what we are doing right now, but also a little bit about what's been happening in Sri Lanka and how we see the way forward when we think about how Sri Lanka can accelerate its economy through the use of digital technologies. There we go. So I think it's very well understood that in terms of the use of digital technologies, we have already seen over the last few decades, but certainly during COVID, the fact that without this technology, we cannot imagine now the economy, markets, society, businesses, and of course government transforming and improving the way that, for example, government delivers its services to citizens, or businesses innovate and become more productive, or even where citizens and individuals are able to take advantage of these digital opportunities to learn and earn and work in a very global economy. And so we see these three pieces coming together, underpinned by the idea of inclusivity and climate resilience, sustainable development to support an overall growth in the economy driven through digital technologies. Now, Sri Lanka starts from a very good position here. Over the last few decades, it's done very well to bring a lot of people online, and of course, as you can see in these charts, performing quite well with regards to its peer countries, certainly more to do. And especially when we think about looking to the future, looking at technologies that underpin the digital economy, such as high-speed broadband, there's still a way to go. Sri Lanka can do a lot more to make its high-speed broadband more affordable and more available to more people. As also the State Minister mentioned, there are these differences in terms of rural versus urban, rich versus poor, men versus women. I'll be talking about that in a second, underpinning this idea of inclusivity. And inclusivity also, along with resilience, is how digital technologies can help in expanding access to public services and improving program delivery. Again, Sri Lanka doing well, but with an opportunity to do a lot more. There's going to be, again, as these digital tools and technologies grow, and we've seen this during the COVID pandemic, more people came online, more businesses came online, but not necessarily in the most secure fashion. So it's going to be very important to make sure that cybersecurity, personal data protection, and of course online trust, where we avoid issues like cyberbullying, for example, these are also taken care of. And again, a space where, as also the State Minister just mentioned, a place where Sri Lanka is focusing and will be working on in the days ahead. And of course, underpinning the recovery and underpinning the growth that we see into the future, building on the successes of the past, there is an opportunity also for Sri Lanka to grow its exports, grow the number of jobs in the IT industry, and very importantly, not just thinking about IT industry jobs, not just the computer programmers or engineers, but also across the economy, people in the banking sector, tourism, retail, healthcare, using technology in their work, in their day-to-day operations. That is going to also be what's going to drive the productivity and the growth in the economy. As I mentioned earlier, one of the underlying issues, therefore, is to think really carefully about inclusion. And here you see some examples of the difference between men and women in Sri Lanka, as data from quite recently. And if you think about, for example, the way social media is now being used by small businesses to market their products, or by people to search for jobs, for example, on a platform like LinkedIn, you see that these divides can actually impose a big cost on people when they are unable to access those kinds of opportunities and do more to further their lives, their incomes, and the opportunities that they have. So what could be some ideas, and where we've been thinking, and I have to say that I've benefited tremendously, and our work in Sri Lanka has benefited tremendously. In conversation with the government, with the private sector, I'd really like to thank a lot of my friends who are in the audience today for their ideas, which are being represented here. And of course with civil society, listening to your ideas, which I hope I've been able to distill into something meaningful. Thinking really about the idea that individuals and people get access to these opportunities in an inclusive manner, get access through this digital means to government services that are more transparent and more efficient. And of course, where firms and businesses and workers are able to use these technologies to be more productive, more innovative, and in a more competitive economy that is exporting and driving its foreign exchange earnings. So if we think about those broad objectives that I've talked about, which is an inclusive economy, one that is able to deliver services and programs more efficiently, and of course looking at the idea of economic competitiveness, what are some examples? We just heard a list from the Minister of State. We think about things like simplifying FDI approvals or single window clearances for foreign investors. Or we think about digitizing the tax administration to a greater extent for transparency and accountability. Or about a school child that's in a remote area or in a rural area that is able to access learning opportunities online. All of these are enabled through the different digital technologies and tools, which we have distilled into 6 themes, whether it's a broadband connectivity that needs to be universal and affordable, the skills to drive an industry and create jobs, having financial transactions that are in place through different fintechs, for example, and different financial platforms, having a secure environment where people are able to trust the digital economy, having the digital data infrastructures that deliver these services in an integrated fashion so that people don't have to wait in line and people don't have to keep submitting documents to the government. All of these come together, these 6 ideas come together, underpinned again by legal and institutional reforms, by the human capital that Sri Lanka has also done very well to develop over the last few decades, and a business environment that enables investment and brings private capital in, especially at this moment where that's going to be very important. All of these come together to create a foundation on which advanced technology can grow. And I think what's extremely important to remember as we look at all of these new developments, I'm sure a lot of you have been reading about, for example, ChatGPT and generative AI. A few years ago, everyone was fascinated by artificial intelligence, and now it's about the artificial general intelligence or generative AI. We were talking about drones a few years ago, and now it's about autonomous drones. 4G was all the hit just a short while ago, and we're already beginning to hear conversations about 6G telecommunications networks. So those advances in technology and those windows to the future are going to keep opening, and Sri Lanka can take advantage of that if it focuses on these foundations. Building the strong human capital base, creating the right kinds of infrastructure, mobilizing private capital and innovation and investment into the economy, having the talent pool that is enabled through the right business climate. Those are the foundations on which Sri Lanka and a digital economy in Sri Lanka can grow and accelerate the broader growth and inclusive growth, and one that is resilient into the future. I'm very happy to be here. I look forward to continuing the conversation, and again, I'd like to thank all of you for this opportunity to be here and share some of these ideas with you as we go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The South Asia Region Coordinator for Digital Development for the World Bank, Mr. Siddhartha Raja. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
As the world embraces a digital evolution, Sri Lanka stands on the brink of a revolution of its own. Technology has seamlessly integrated into everyday life, transforming the way Sri Lankans live, enhancing and accelerating their experiences. Lifestyles have evolved, work styles are changing, and expectations are shifting, steering a shift in the way people move, learn, and connect. As the Sri Lankan government takes steps to transform the country's digital landscape through a variety of cutting-edge initiatives, businesses in Sri Lanka have recognized the importance of their digital quotient. One such initiative is the unique Digital Identity Framework, which is scheduled to be rolled out across Sri Lanka. This biometric-based digital identity system will enable more efficient public and private sector transactions while providing citizens with a globally recognized digital identification. Another new digital project is the Single Window Approval System, which will enable investors to apply for clearances through a single registration interface, eliminating the need to approach multiple administrative ministries and government departments. The Colombo Port City project is well on its way to becoming the most advanced smart city in Asia, providing the catalyst for inclusive advancements in the digital space across various sectors. The city will offer a plethora of smart amenities, including smart metering, digital citizen ID, renewable energy, Wi-Fi, smart waste management, smart water systems, smart parking, and security. A smart grid electricity network in Sri Lanka will supply electricity to consumers with two-way digital communication, allowing for monitoring and communication within the electricity supply chain. The digital nomad visa would soon be introduced in Sri Lanka as a strategic initiative to boost tourism. This visa serves as a gateway for travel bloggers, online entrepreneurs, and digital nomads who work in technological or online fields to work remotely from any location in Sri Lanka. Traditional agricultural practices in Sri Lanka are gradually adopting digital culture. Former data management systems and digital strategies are being developed to enhance farming practices. In addition, medical institutions in Sri Lanka are displaying a strong interest in innovation. Today, government institutions are primed to transition from traditional cash payment systems to e-payment systems, showcasing their willingness to embrace true digital transformation. In response to a rapidly evolving, digitally savvy generation, government skill development and vocational institutes are gradually adapting their curriculum to meet their changing needs, with the intention of bridging the digital skill divide. As social, economic and governmental activities are increasingly carried out online, Sri Lanka has now understood the importance of stringent data protection and cybersecurity. Digitalization continues to make the world smaller as networks grow larger and careers become more mobile, paving the way for digital passions to take priority. The nation is accelerating towards a digital horizon through the implementation of numerous digital enterprises. Every initiative a step towards launching Sri Lanka into becoming a digitally driven nation. As the cyber-physical systems revolution of Industry 4.0 evolves, the nation is fundamentally changing the way we live, work, and relate to one another. Taking the leap into Industry Revolution 5.0, Sri Lanka now transcends into an accelerated digital economy empowered through cutting-edge technology. Welcome to DigiEcon 2030.
Nation's first step into a digital utopia, an economy geared to embrace the Industry 4.0 and beyond revolution, a nation accelerated by the free flow of information, an island governed by the rules of technology. Today, as His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, unveils the first of many milestones leading to its nation's transformation, we thank you for choosing to be a part of this historic moment. Over to you, Clifford, to invite His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, to ceremonially unveil the new web platform.
It is indeed a significant milestone as Sri Lanka embarks or gets ready to embark on this phenomenal journey called DigiEcon to revolutionize the digital landscape in Sri Lanka. While we get ready for this journey, we also should keep in mind that for any country to prosper or move ahead very effectively, that country needs political stability and economic stability. Talking of political stability and economic stability, we saw that in the recent past how Sri Lanka experienced a huge threat to the political and economic stability. And in the midst of a situation where the country was coming into a total anarchy, here is a leader who took on the challenge to bring back Sri Lanka to its original glory. And after passing through that very dark tunnel, we can see lots of light. Yes, we do experience a lot of light in Sri Lanka, and I'm sure as a nation we are deeply grateful to him for taking on this challenge, and we're now going to very warmly invite him to address the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together and welcome on stage His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and also the Minister of Technology.